She looked me dead in the eye, well, through a screen, and sent me a $1,200 bill for a party I threw at a venue I left spotless. And when I pushed back, she denied everything. The platform sided with her, and I was just supposed to eat it. But here's the thing about people who run scams for a living. They get really, really comfortable. They start thinking nobody will ever fight back hard enough. I fought back. And by the time I was done, her 4.8-star rating was sitting at a 2.9, and she was begging strangers on the internet to book her space at half price. If you have ever been cheated, dismissed, or made to feel powerless by someone who thought they could get away with it, this one's for you. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and settle in. Because this story, it gets very satisfying. Let me take you back to about 4 months ago. My best friend was turning 30. Not just any 30, the kind of 30 that deserves a real celebration. She'd had a brutal couple of years. Job loss, a rough breakup, family stuff I won't get into. And I wanted to do something that said, you matter, you are loved, and tonight is entirely about you. So I started planning a surprise party. Now, I'm not someone who throws parties casually. I made spreadsheets. I coordinated with 6 different people to keep the secret. I spent weeks researching the perfect venue, somewhere that felt special but didn't cost a fortune. Because, let's be honest, I'm doing this out of pocket and out of love, not out of a trust fund. That's when I found her listing. The venue looked gorgeous online. Exposed brick walls, warm Edison lighting, a little kitchenette in the corner, and enough space for about 30 people to move around comfortably. The photos were polished, the description was glowing, and the host, let's call her Sandra, had a 4.8-star rating with over 40 reviews. People raved about how accommodating she was, how professional, how the space was exactly as described. I booked it, paid the deposit, confirmed the date. Sandra was pleasant in every message. Prompt replies, a friendly sign-off. She sent over the check-in instructions, reminded me about the noise ordinance cutoff, and even wished me luck with the surprise. She seemed like exactly the kind of person you want to do business with. The party was a hit. My friend walked in, saw 30 of her closest people in a room full of balloons and fairy lights, and burst into tears. The good kind. We ate, we danced, we laughed until our stomachs hurt. And when the night was over, we cleaned up like our lives depended on it. I'm talking. Wiped down every surface, bagged every piece of trash, straightened every chair. I even took photos before we left, not because I was suspicious, just because I'm the kind of person who documents things. I locked up, dropped the key in the designated box, and drove home feeling genuinely proud. 2 days later, my phone buzzed. It was Sandra. And the message made my stomach drop. Hi, unfortunately, the space was left in an unusable condition after your event. Due to the extent of the cleaning required, we will be charging a deep cleaning fee of $1,200. This has been submitted through the platform. Please let me know if you have any questions. I read it 3 times. $1,200. I sat very still for a moment. You know that feeling where something is so absurd that your brain just refuses to process it? Like the number doesn't even feel real? That was me, just sitting there, phone in hand, completely frozen. And then the heat started creeping up the back of my neck. Because I knew what we left behind. I had seen it with my own eyes. I had photographed it. That kitchen was cleaner when we left than when we arrived. I'd wiped down a sticky residue on the counter that was clearly already there when we checked in. We'd left the place better than we found it. I typed back, calm as I could manage. I'd like to see documentation of the damage, please. She sent photos within the hour. Blurry, dark, a pile of garbage bags that, I kid you not, were clearly not ours. Our trash had been in specific black bags from the venue's own bin. These were white kitchen bags, stuffed with what looked like construction debris. There was a close-up of what appeared to be a grease stain on the stovetop that I had personally scrubbed before leaving. I stared at those photos with my jaw tight and my hands shaking, not from fear, from fury. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't Sandra having a rough day and making a mistake. This was a system, a calculated, deliberate scheme designed to extract money from people who'd worked hard, celebrated something beautiful, and then trusted her enough to just hand over their credit card information. She was betting that most people wouldn't fight, that they'd grumble, maybe leave a passive-aggressive one-star review, and then move on. Because $1,200 is a lot of money, but it's also just uncomfortable enough to make people want to make the problem go away. I filed a dispute through the booking platform immediately. I uploaded my photos, my time-stamped messages, the check-in record, everything. I wrote a detailed, factual account of everything that happened. 3 days later, denied. The platform sided with the host, cited their host protection policy, offered me a $50 credit as a gesture of goodwill. $50. I closed the app, set my phone face down on the table, took a very long, very slow breath. And then something shifted in me. That helpless, hollow feeling started transforming into something else, something quieter and colder and much more focused. Fine, I thought. Fine. If the system won't fix this, I'll fix it myself. I started that same night. I had my photos. I had my receipts. I had the truth. And in the age of the internet, the truth, when presented clearly, calmly, and publicly, has a kind of power that no booking platform host protection policy can suppress. I went to Yelp first. I wrote a review that was methodical and devastating. No caps lock, no emotional language, just facts in sequence with photos attached. The spotless kitchen, the clean floors, the time-stamped checkout photos, and then a calm, factual account of the $1,200 charge, the blurry evidence she'd sent, and the platform's dismissal of my appeal. Then Google, then Facebook, then the event booking site where I'd originally found her. Same review, each time. Detailed, professional, irrefutable. And then I waited. Within 48 hours, something started happening. Other people started finding my reviews, and they started talking. One woman commented on the Yelp review, "This happened to me too. She charged me $800 for damaged furniture. Nothing was damaged." Then another, same experience, $600 cleaning fee. I thought I was the only one. Then another. And another. People who had quietly paid, quietly fumed, and quietly moved on, suddenly had a place to put their story. My review became a thread, a record, a warning. Sandra's 4.8-star rating, that gleaming, trustworthy, carefully cultivated 4.8, started dropping in real time. 4.6. 4.1. 3.5. I won't pretend I wasn't checking obsessively, because I absolutely was. Every morning, first thing. Coffee in hand, phone in the other, watching that number fall like a slow and very satisfying countdown. Within 3 weeks, Sandra's rating had collapsed to 2.9. 2.9. For context, on most booking platforms, anything below 3.5 is essentially a death sentence. Guests filter by rating. Algorithms suppress low-rated listings. Corporate clients won't touch you. Party planners won't recommend you. You become invisible, or worse, a cautionary tale people share in Facebook groups. And that's exactly what happened. I checked her listing one morning and nearly choked on my coffee. She was offering 50% off all bookings. No minimum, no restrictions. Just a desperate, flashing discount banner on a listing that used to command premium prices. 50% off. The same woman who had tried to shake me down for $1,200 was now begging strangers to book her space for half of what it was worth, because no one with a functioning Google search would touch her at full price. There was no dramatic confrontation. She never reached out to apologize. No phone call, no message, no acknowledgement of what she'd done to me or to any of the others who came forward. But I didn't need that. I didn't need her to say sorry. I didn't need the platform to reverse their decision. I didn't need a check in the mail. What I needed was for her to stop doing this to people. And if she couldn't be stopped through the official channels, then she could be stopped by the thing she'd built her whole scheme on: reputation. She had hidden behind a 4.8 rating for who knows how long, counting on good first impressions, counting on people's silence, counting on the fact that most victims would just pay and disappear. She didn't count on me having a camera, a laptop, and absolutely nothing left to lose. Here's what I keep thinking about. She could have just been honest. She could have run a clean business, and she would have kept that 4.8 forever. Instead, she got greedy, and greedy people always leave a trail. The internet doesn't forget, and sometimes, just sometimes, that's exactly the kind of justice the real world fails to deliver. If this story had you nodding along or screaming yes at your screen, smash that like button and drop a comment below. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed, pulled off, or wish you had? I read every single one. And if you're new here, subscribe, because we've got a whole library of stories where the underdog wins, the scammer gets caught, and justice shows up right on time. See you in the next one.